making their CD actually. Guru Maharaj CD.
Vedanta.
Vedanta.
Maji also chapter 5, full chapter.
Right.
He makes some jokes also in between in your language, I think, which I could not understand. Tamil language.
स्वामी परमार्थानंद. स्वामी दयानंद सरस्वती का भी है एंड स्वामी परमार्थानंद का भी है.
We have his CD actually.
Right.
All topics covered in that. Different topics. 1 hour topic.
Shastra.
So, आपका language भी Tamil? मैंने सोचा था कि आप
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. वक्रतुंड महाकाय कोटिसूर्यसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा. गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वादात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि. सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्. नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः. प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः. सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सत्सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्. वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला. अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तककेशवः. पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम् लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरहः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः. So once again, very happy New Year to all of you. So praying to the Lord to continue to give us this opportunity to be able to study and understand more, not just study but to understand, and also to share, whatever little we know, we share with others, especially, for the children. Yeah. So we were discussing in the context of the Bhagavad Gita. We sort of completed the first chapter. We will do a recap later, but as I mentioned in the beginning, it is very important, especially before going into the second chapter, it is very important to understand some of the basic tenets of Vedanta. Yeah. Any study when we do, we understand the basics, right? We start with, how do children start? They start with alphabets, the words, and they start relating to objects, colors, words, and then sentences. So even some specialized study, whether it is engineering or medicine or law, so you always find certain key words, terminologies which are there, which we need to keep referring back, right? So when we read the book, we'll find some difficulty. You have to go back and say, what exactly does this mean? Jargons. So we have got meanings and we have got definitions, right? So both are important. So in that series, there is a sort of a preliminary text which is called the Tattva Bodha, yeah, which is considered as a preliminary text before studying any of the other texts, including the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, it's called the Prakarana Grantha. They are classified into different. Again, this is called a terminology. It's called Prakarana Grantha, Bhashyam. So many things are there. But then, looking at where we are today, we should also, to understand Tattva Bodha, also we have to understand some things before that. So the students of Tattva Bodha, it is assumed that they have already know some of the other basics, terminologies and definitions which are there. So that's why many of our acharyas, they have given this in a very capsule form, in modules known as the Introduction to Vedanta, which talks about basics. Yeah. So we'll go through that one by one. So the first topic, it is talking about Purusharthas. Yeah, it's called Purushartha. We have heard this term before, right? Yeah. In the Sankalpa also we say Chaturpida Phala Purushartha Siddhyartham. What does that mean? We say in the Puja Sankalpa we say, right? Chaturvida means what?
Four.
Four.
Goods.
Four types. Phalam. Okay. Then Purushartha Siddhyartham. Now this is start of the new year. Yeah, we are just in the first week of new year. Right? How many of us have got new resolutions for the new year? Huh? Every year we start with a fresh page, right? Right? We review the previous year and say that, oh, I did not complete so many of that. But let me start a fresh page. And we write down, oh, these are my resolutions. What are they ultimately? Basically,
Goals.
they are goals. Right? We want to achieve something. It is a goal which we are writing down. Actually, it is very good. It is required to write them down. Even modern management theory, in corporate houses and offices, it is a must to write down the goals for the next year. You have targets, you have got a budget, you have to plan. That's why even for individuals, they say for individual progress also, it is very important that we write down our goals. Yeah? We have to write down our goals. Because when we write down, it gives a clarity in terms of what am I thinking. Then, okay, these are my goals. What do I need to achieve those goals? Right? We don't stop with the goals. We need there's a path to achieve those goals. What are the resources required? How much time do I require? Whom do I need to? How many people are required? Right? Do I need to go somewhere to achieve those goals? Right? Or do I need to acquire something else to achieve those goals? All those things are very important. It helps us to plan. It gives us a path. We are not just living our life aimlessly. It is very important. So all of us have got goals. Whether we write it down or not, all of us have got goals. Now if I ask, are those goals which you have today, if you can think of some of those goals, recollect some of those goals, are they the same as last year?
Definitely. Maybe in something which we have left last year,
Right.
we would try to complete it this year.
Has something been dropped and something been added this year?
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm?
Definitely.
If not within 1 year, if you look back 5 years, what were your goals 5 years back as compared to what it is today?
It changes all the time.
It changes, right? Why have the goals changed?
Since we are unable to accomplish them.
It is difficult, so we drop them, change them.
Priorities are different.
Priorities change. Our life is changing, our priorities change. And we have limited resources in terms of time and energy, and therefore we keep changing. But what are we trying to achieve with those goals?
Dharma, ethics, moksha.
Let us talk about my simple goals, which are there. Give an example of one of your goals, if you can share.
To continue walking every day.
Your morning walks, right? Every day. That's a goal. Very good. That's a goal.
Cut the number of chai.
So why do you want to walk every day?
To be fresh, fit.
Good health. So walking is not the goal. You have written down that as a goal. Walking is not the goal. What is the goal?
To stay fit.
To stay fit. To reduce weight or to maintain my weight. Correct? To be healthy. So therefore we want to walk. Why do you want to be healthy? Why do you want to reduce weight?
achieve more goals. I have to be healthy.
So again, that is not the actual goal. The actual goal is because I need a healthy body in order to do so many other things. What are those so many things which I want to do?
For the family.
For the family, I've got duties to be done, so therefore I have to be healthy.
Interim goals.
I am working, I am earning money, so to continue that I have to be healthy. Right? Why do you want to earn money?
As per ashram, we need money.
We need money, right?
For
Any amount of money is not enough.
ashrams, for your needs and luxuries.
Needs and luxuries, needs and wants. Correct? Why do we want money? What does those luxuries give me?
Security.
Happiness.
Security.
Security and then
Happiness.
happiness. So it means that whatever I am doing, it may look as one particular goal, but most of the time it is only a means, one of the methods to another goal. So if you analyze it that way, what is the ultimate goal we are ending up with? Happiness. So if my goal is happiness, what does that mean?
Maybe we are not happy today. Maybe we are not completely.
This is a trap, right?
satisfied. We are not happy.
Not permanently happy.
Right?
It's
If I have a goal that I should have $1 million by in another 3 years' time, what does that mean? That I don't have $1 million with me today. Correct? So that is why I am putting that as the goal and I am working towards that goal. So if I say that I am earning money to be happy, etc., to have luxuries, to take care of my needs. Yeah, taking care of needs is not there to be happy, right? That is needs. They are basic needs which are there. Roti, kapda, makan has to be taken care of. And then I want, on top of that, I want something more. I want luxury. I want more comfort, which will make me happy. Or I feel happy when I have those things or I have those experiences. Which means I am not happy today.
And again, later on also, we are not going to get satisfied.
We are not going to get satisfied. So I find that it comes and goes. It is not permanent. I find that I am in this situation where it is not permanent. Therefore, I again have other goals. I am not happy. I had these goals, I achieved this, I am still not happy. So I have more goals. How do I counter that? Right?
In MBA, we have something called Maslow's theory of
Ah, very good.
the person, the employer, whoever, he never is satisfied. Basic needs, then
Correct.
comes desire, then comes societal needs, then status
This
needs.
is absolutely built upon actually Maslow's theory of hierarchy
Maslow's theory of
comes from Purusharthas. And it absolutely ends at the self-actualization. Right?
This said-
Ultimately there is no, even after achieving all the material goals, there is no satisfaction. So there is
Finally, the question of safety of maintaining all these comes.
Correct.
So the employees ultimately also not happy.
If you know Maslow's theory, this is very easy. Right? So when we look at goals, we have basic needs which we talk about. Right? We call security. Roti, kapda, makan. Basic needs which are there. Right? So in Sanskrit it is called artha. Yeah? Artha has got many arthas. One artha is meaning. Meaning is also called artha. Another artha is goal. Purushartha. Purusha artha. Yeah, of a human being. Goals of a human being. And artha also has got, one of the Purusharthas is artha in terms of security. Normally it is used in terms of wealth. Artham. It is called in terms of wealth. But wealth for what? For the sake of security. Because I don't know. Tomorrow I may need additional money. Security in the form of money, in the form of materials, in the form of a house, in which one house is not enough, I need to have an investment, so one more house comes in, right? So initially we look at basic needs. Even animals, they also have the same goals, right? They also protect themselves. They have got natural protection which nature has given them, Ishvara has given them, but apart from that, they also protect themselves from the weather, from other animals, from human beings. Yeah, they protect themselves. So they are also worried about security.
instinct.
Instinctively they do that. So human beings
Planning
also
is there.
does that instinctively as well as
Planning.
additional planning we do. Much more. For animals it is simple. They are programmed to eat one kind of food, they will eat only that. Unless they are forced to eat by a human being, to eat something else. Then only they will eat something else. But here we can plan endless variety of food, how to eat that, when to eat, what not to eat, What more we can eat? Quantity, quality. We have got so much of choice which is there. Come to basic needs of again housing, shelter. Animals, they have got only one kind of design. Each animal has got a single design, very easy for their architect, right? But here we want different types, different needs at different places, and we are not satisfied with that. We need a different design, keep modifying. The basic need is a shelter, but we make it much more complicated. With respect to clothing, also the endless choices which are there in terms of quantity, quality, etc., it never ends, it never stops, right? So animals also have these basic needs. So what differentiates between animals and human beings?
Planning.
Animal lives for every day.
Hmm?
They don't have choice.
They don't have a choice.
We have four goals: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha.
Hmm.
Moksha is different from animals.
Hmm.
Three are there common in
Mhm.
animals and humans, but moksha is
Hmm.
differentiate animals from.
Is it only
humans.
moksha which differentiates?
Even dharma,
Dharma,
they don't
dharma,
have, they cannot act according
Dharma
to
and
it.
moksha.
What about
Planning is missing. Mainly.
what about kama in terms of pleasure or in terms of luxury? Do animals go after luxury? Huh? Does it say no? Next tomorrow I want to travel in a BMW car. Hmm? No, does it get jealous of another dog which is going in a BMW? I am traveling only in a Nissan. It doesn't have that problem, right? It is happy where it is. It is happy for the day, right? But they also plan for the future. Animals, they are programmed. Some of the animals they store. Okay, winter time, rain is coming, therefore they store. But maximum they store for a couple of days or for one season maximum, right? They don't need to worry about what will happen after 2 years. A famine may come, food issue is there, water issue is there. I should have some reserve with me. They're not worried about that, right? So as you rightly said, they don't have a choice. They don't have a free will. Yeah, they are programmed to do certain things. They continue to do what they are supposed to do. But as human beings, we go further one more step and say, okay, my basic needs are done, and the Lord Ishvara has given me, endowed me with an additional intellect as compared to animals. Animals also have intellect. But compared to them, I consider myself to be much more developed intellectually. Therefore, I use that in terms of telling my basic needs are done. Why can't I have some more additional which will give me additional pleasure? Yeah, I won't call that happiness. I will say, okay, let me have additional pleasures. So from artha, we move on to kama, right? Now after some time, we find that I am not able to get out of this continuous cycle which is there. Desire, there is one desire which is fulfilled, but it is only leading to more desires. Yeah, I start comparing. I said, oh, I have achieved 10, I know, but 9, I had 459 goals at the beginning of the year. I have achieved only 300 out of that. I have still so many left. But after achieving that 300, it is leading me to another 600. Correct? If I have only one goal, I achieve that goal, it becomes 100%. If I stop at that, yeah, if there is contentment. But the problem with desire is that we'll see that in second chapter and further in the Bhagavad Gita also, in terms of how it feeds into more desires, right? Now from that comes another point. So after getting into the second stage in terms of say artha and then kama, we talk about security in this life. You say, okay, I have got money, I have got insurance is done, so it is my health insurance is done, life insurance is done, this life is taken care of. But do we stop with that? What is our basic understanding or belief? That is my life over with this particular janma? Or was it this janma the starting point of my life? Was it? So then what happened before this? Or what is going to happen after this? Hmm?
Sanchit karma.
So I have a belief that this was not the beginning of my journey. This is not going to be the end of my journey. So I start worrying about what is going to happen in the next Janma. In the next Janma. Right? We learned that, yes, we hear from our parents and grandparents and everybody say that, yeah, you have done so much punya, that is why you are enjoying that now. You say, what punya I have done? Okay, no, not this Janma, you have done so much punya in the previous Janmas. It is aneka Janma samprapta. It has come in so many Janmas. We think that this is the starting point. So you say, how do I now ensure the security of the next Janma? I don't know. This Janma I can take care. This bank balance is not going to be carried forward. Assets and liabilities are not going to be carried forward to the next Janma. So then how do I ensure?
Good karma.
So therefore comes the next goal. Again, dharma has got many meanings in many contexts. One of them is in terms of telling that I ensure a security for the subsequent life, not just next life. You say, okay, I subconsciously I say that, okay, next so many janmas I have to ensure, therefore let me perform actions which is going to give that credit to me, having a bank balance in the account of punyam, and therefore there is an order of dharma which I need to do. Right? Another way of looking at dharma is in terms of the discipline which needs to be done. When there is a choice, there is a potential of doing a wrong thing, right? Because one of the basic goals or the way in which we conduct ourselves is that there are only two. Basically, you can break it down into just or reduce it into just two. One is dukkha nivritti. I want to get rid of pain, right? And the other is sukha prapti. When we are in pain, the first thing is, let me get rid of this pain. That's why we go, take to a painkiller. The first thing is, let me go to the doctor later. My first thing is, I want to get rid of this pain. Right? If you have to switch off the TV, sitting here, what will we do? What is the easiest option? Remote. If the remote is not there or it is lying there, what we do?
We ask somebody.
We call somebody. Please get me that remote. They may have to walk much more than me walking to the TV. So even there, my immediate goal is sukha prapti. Dukkha, I don't want to take that extra pain. Right? So I want more sukham. Once my pain is taken care of, I want more sukham. I want more. Because it gives me a level of ananda at that particular point of time. Therefore, I keep chasing that particular happiness, which is eluding me. At times, yes, I feel my goal is achieved, I am happy for some time, but then it dies down very fast. Correct? So, therefore, after a certain point of time, since we are endowed, Ishvara's grace is there, where we are endowed with this additional intellect which is given to us, we start thinking, what is happening to me? Right? I am chasing happiness. Yeah, I achieve to some extent, but again it goes away. Again, then happiness becomes my goal. So I have to do again certain things I have to do. I have to continue doing. But in the process of doing, it gives again pain. For earning wealth, for security, we are undergoing pain, right? So many things which we are sacrificing. There is pain involved in terms of getting and acquiring wealth. There is pain involved. And then we say that, okay, then I will utilize that wealth to gain more pleasure. But what about the pain which we are already undergoing? Right? And then, once we acquire that thing, does it stop? That the pain stop? Then we start worrying. Oh, what will happen? Okay, I have acquired this new TV now. But what will happen tomorrow? It may not work, or something new will come. Yeah? Throughout the maintenance of that, even when we are just supposed to sit back and enjoy, it is with our hard-earned money which we have bought, legitimately have acquired it. But still, we continue in pain for maintaining of that particular object or materials. Correct? And then what happens? Then there is a fear that I may lose it. Right? Oh, be careful. Take care of this, take care of your things. There is always a fear. Yeah? Especially if you are traveling into a place where it is crowded, etc., etc. Notorious places, the history is bad, so we are very, we may even say that, okay, I will not carry these things. I have brought this for my enjoyment, for my usage, and we relinquish that because of the fear of losing it. And then every 6 months a new model comes in, my old model becomes obsolete. It stops, you can't use it anymore. Even if it is in working condition, they ensure that you can't use it. Correct? And therefore your neighbor has bought it, or your children will come and say, my friends have got the latest model. Therefore, what happiness we had 6 months back, it becomes a pain now in terms of disposing this thing. It is the same thing it is with materials. It is the same thing with places. It is the same thing with people. Right? It is momentary. One, there is attachment to the object. First is, in terms of acquiring the object, there is attachment to the object in terms of whether it will go away from me. If it goes away, my pain will increase. So, there is attachment, bandhakatvam. Right? Then there is dukkham in terms of acquiring it, in terms of maintaining it, in terms of the fear of losing it, just like what Arjuna was having. He just saw the people who are there in front of him, and just the thought that they are going to be killed, they will not be there tomorrow. It has not yet happened, but just the thought of it made him lose his viveka. Right? And if actually the loss happens, then there is grief again. So there is dukkham throughout. Dukkham misritam. And then third one is atripti. We acquire one, we acquire two, we acquire three. Yeah, you just do a search of the home, you will get at least 10 mobile phones coming out. I don't want to throw it, I cannot throw it. Even for disposal, you have to pay money now. Right? So there is constant atripti. That is what the marketing campaign is all about. That they make you feel that if you don't get it now, your life is gone. it is worthless. Right? So they make you feel that and atripti. So therefore, because of that feeling, I keep on acquiring things. Now, is it bad to do that? Is artha bad? Is kama bad?
Everything should be in a level.
Limit. There should be a limit.
What is the limit? Who sets the limit?
As long as you don't have attachment to that, it's fine.
Attachment, right. So that is where we talked about bandhakatva. Yeah. But does it remain that way? Am I able to be in that particular state always?
No.
No. Right? Therefore, so this particular problem of bandhakatvam, atriptikaratvam and dukkha misritatvam is there with all the first three goals. It is there with artha, it is there with kama, it is there with dharma also. Punyam, I don't know how much punyam I need.
How is it there in Dharma?
Good question. How do I know how much punyam I need for the next janma? Huh? Do I know what is the limit? When should I stop acquiring punya?
It is better to always do good things,
If not hurting us.
lead a life according to Shastras.
According to Shastras, okay, Shastra Vihitam, yeah, as per Dharma, right? But even there, do I know where is the limit to that? I say Punya Sampadhanam, but after Punyam, what is going to happen? I have to come back to.
That is the test actually. That is the test.
I have to come back to enjoy that Punyam. When I come back, again there is a problem of choice. There is a problem of desire which is going to happen. So even in Dharma, that is why, yes, on the face of it, it looks good in terms of telling, yes, I am doing everything as per Shastram. Shastra Vihitam Karma. Everything I am doing as per Shastras.
It will not get you moksha. You will not get
Yeah.
permanent happiness.
We should know to come out of the cycle.
We have to come out of this cycle. So therefore I start looking at that, okay, these three goals are fine with me, it is helping me, I need that to perform my duties, I need that, legitimately I have earned something and therefore I have got the right to enjoy it. Fine, Shastra says that is also fine. Dharma, yeah, everything is as per Dharma, that's also as per Shastram. Yeah, Veda Vihitam Karma I am doing, that's also fine. But then the biggest question comes is that how do I get away from the attachment to these three goals? Yeah? Now, are these three goals bad?
No.
Does that mean that no, let me do away with all the three goals? Can we do away with the three goals? Can we do away with Artha? We cannot. We need that. We need the security. As long as this body is existing, it has to depend upon external factors for security. And Shastra, that is also Shastra Vihitam. Shastra doesn't say that you have to get rid of these three goals. These goals are also mentioned in the Shastras. And they also guide us in terms of telling how to acquire wealth. There are specific karmas which will help us acquire wealth, which will help us acquire pleasure, which will help us acquire punyam. Shastra gives us all these ways. So how can Shastra be wrong? They cannot be, right? So therefore, the three goals has to remain. The extent varies from person to person, in what stage of life they are, what ashrama they are. We'll discuss more about the ashrama in the next, after 2-3 sessions, right? But then I start thinking, being a intelligent human being, I start thinking that this is all fine, but there is some catch somewhere where I need to get out of this attachment to the three goals which I am pursuing. Okay? So therefore, the fourth goal which the Shastra talks about, so then the Shastra says, now we have asked the right question. That's the right question. There's in one of the movies, you keep on asking a question, they'll say, oh, that's the right question. Right? Therefore, the Shastra says that, okay, now we have understood and you have come to the fourth goal where you want to get away from the attachment, the bandhakatvam, to all the three goals. It doesn't say drop the three goals. Yeah? It say how do I get away from the attachment to the bondage through the three goals. They say, okay, I will tell you the way, which is classified as the fourth goal known as moksha. Yeah? In simple terms, moksha means getting rid of the bondage or the attachment to the three goals of Artha, Kama and Dharma. But when we say, how do we say? We say Dharmartha Kama Moksha. Yeah? Because Dharma is a goal, but as well it becomes a guiding factor for in the performance of or acquiring the other two goals also. In terms of acquiring wealth, it has to be in conformity to Dharma. In terms of seeking Kama, it has to be in conformity to Dharma. Therefore, Dharma becomes not only as a goal, it becomes a guiding factor also. So, though sequentially we say, okay, we start with Artha, Kama, Dharma, but when we say we say Dharmartha Kama Moksha. Dharmartha Kama Moksha Chaturpita Phala Purushartha Siddhyartham we say. Right? So, Dharma, Artha, Kama, these three are together classified into one term called prayas. Yeah? Dharma, Artha, Kama. And moksha is known as Shreyas. Shreyam, that which is Shreyaha. Shreshta. That's why it's also known as the Parama Purushartha. Parama, the ultimate. There's nothing beyond that.
So, moksha is not wherein we summon ourselves totally, something called Charanagati.
Well, Sharanagati.
Sharanadaya will be saying.
Correct.
Tamil.
So it can be in different ways. How do we get away from the bondage or attachment? So there are different methodologies for that. That's what we will see in couple of the sessions. We will see that also. So one is the Shastra. So I believe what the Shastras say, that is one thing. I have got the Shraddha in the Shastras. I have got Shraddha in the teaching which is being done. Therefore, I say, okay, I want to know. I say, okay, I have now fixed this as the goal. Now you tell me, you show me the way. So at that time, the Shastra is not coming and telling, no, sorry, that is your problem. They don't say that. Yeah? As much as the Shastra tell us, these are the goals which you can pursue, they also tell us how we can achieve those goals. Right? So as I told, with respect to Artha, Kama, Dharma, and with respect to Moksha also, the Shastras gives us the path as well. Very clearly. Okay? Any questions so far?
Only the terms have to be remembered.
Yeah. Actually, I got summary sheets for all these things. It just talks about and keeps all these words and meaning. So it will be easy to do that. So again, with respect to when we talked about animals, there's one Sanskrit verse which says Ahara Nidra Bhaya Maitunam cha Samanyam etat Pashubir Naranam Buddhirhi Desham Adhiko Visheshaha Buddhya Vihinaha Pashubir Samana. Yeah. So Ahara Nidra Bhayam Maitunam. This is common. Maitunam means propagation of the species. Yeah. That is common for animals. Aharam, Nidra, after Aharam, rest has to be there. Enough rest is then again, the stomach starts grumbling. So again Ahara. Bhayam. Bhayam means not in a negative context, but in terms of having security, to have security. Yeah? So always they are on the lookout to protect themselves. Every species protects themselves. So what differentiates human beings is buddhi. Yeah? But many times we insult animals by telling that animalistic tendencies in human beings. Animals don't have any negative tendencies. There's this joke we say that when we scold others, and like that, the monkeys and donkeys will go and put up a case against you, saying that don't compare us with human beings. They can never do a wrong thing. Yeah, they can do only, they're programmed to do certain thing. They continue to do what they're supposed to do.
Mostly we use monkeys.
So with that, that is why all the goals come in because of that. Animals don't have any goals. If there's a dog show which is being conducted, does the dogs, do they plan, I should go to this dog show, this is the way I should perform there? Does the dog even know what it is doing? The owner of the dog is planning for it, right? No, my dog should get the first prize. Last year the neighbor's dog got, even though they didn't do very well. So I spend money, my hard-earned money in terms of training the dog. The dogs don't have any goals that they have to go and perform and get the first prize. It is only the human beings, because of the faculty of choice, because of the faculty of free will which is there are human goals. That is why it's called Purushartha. Yeah? Purusha here in terms of human beings. Right? So this is what? So it has got three defects: Bandhakatvam, Atriptikaratvam and Dukkha Misritam. In all this, it's very good to remember, the B for Bandhakatvam, A for Atripti, and D for Dukkha Misritam, BAD. It means it is bad. It is very easy to remember also. Dukkha Misritam and Atripti. Right? So bondage again comes in different forms. We talked about one kind of bondage in terms of telling, we have something and therefore we become attached to that. Whether it is a place, whether it is a material, whether it's an experience, whether it is people, there is bondage. Yeah? Now there is a different kind of bondage which can be due to the absence of something. Yeah? Or we are used to our own solitude, our own space. If that is intruded into, our equilibrium is lost. So there is bondage which can come due to presence of something, and the bondage can come with respect to absence of something also. Yeah? So the ultimate ultimate goal of moksha is in terms of getting rid of the bondage to anything and everything which we are supposed to do with respect to the other three goals. Right? As grihasthas, we'll see what are the duties, etc. But as grihastha is the only one who can acquire money, who can acquire wealth, who can work for the sake of earning money in terms of protection of their own family, for their own security, as well as the security of everybody else. We'll see the other three ashramas, the brahmacharya, vanaprastha and sannyasa ashrama has to be protected and sustained by the grihastha. Grihastha has to perform yajna. For yajna, dravyam is required, place is required. You will call an acharya, dakshina has to be given. Where does that come from? So the grihastha has to earn that. Right? And then therefore, we can never get away from doing karma. Karma is an inevitable thing. What we are supposed to do with respect to our dharma, even without that, even the basic necessity, even breathing is a karma. The basic thing of eating is a karma. Yeah? To acquire what we need to eat is also a karma. Thinking is a karma. You say, no, let me not do anything, let me just sit quiet. You cannot, because there is a minimum level of breathing at least which is being done as a karma. Or the mind starts working. So in performing of all those things, it is but natural that because of the faculty of choice, the aspect of bandhakatvam, atriptikaratvam and dukkham will be there. Can I avoid that? Can I avoid that? Can I get rid of that completely? Yeah? I can, can I get rid of dukkham completely? There will be pain involved. Right? Can I get rid of atripti? As a human being, those things will keep popping up into the mind. Just like we'll talk about anger, etc. All those are emotions which are natural. Natural means I don't have a control over it. You'll see in the 6th chapter in detail. Yeah? Rajana will say, oh, chanchalam hi mana Krishna. Manas is chanchalam. That is the nature of the manas. It will keep chalam machalam. It will keep going from place to place. That's why the mind is called a monkey mind. Like the monkey. If a monkey is sitting quiet, it means there is a problem with the monkey. Right? So it is like that. That is natural. But then, how do I grow out of it? How do I deal with it? Yeah? So that is where the real moksha comes in. So moksha is again talked about in different aspect. You say, yes, there are certain steps to be done for that. But basically, when we say that I am in search of happiness, I am looking at happiness, it is actually with respect to telling that I am only looking at the happiness which I have forgotten within myself. Yeah? It is already there with me. Because a simple theory. If something is outside of me, look at any material or experience. If it is outside of me, I need to do something to get that. Correct? I say going to Switzerland and skiing there is going to make me happy. Right? But I have to do an action for that. I have to do the planning, I need the money for that, I do everything, go there, experience it, but then what happens after that?
Whether satisfaction.
There is an end point, there is a starting point for that experience and there is an end point to that experience. As long as it is outside of me, I have to work towards that and therefore it is not going to be permanent. Anything which is outside of me and I am working towards it, if there is a starting point for that, there is going to be an end point for that. So when I say that yes, going there is going to make me happy, I have to be prepared that there is going to be a return ticket also. Right? When I say this material is going to make me happy, I have to be prepared that there is going to be a time when this material is going to give me dukkham, forget about happiness not being there, and there is going to be an end point for this particular material also. So if that being the case, then how can I be permanently happy? If I have to be permanently happy, what does that mean?
You have to be introvert.
Huh?
It's calm.
If I have to be permanently happy, that means happiness is always with me. What is the meaning of that?
You cannot seek happiness outside.
Happiness has to be within me.
Inside.
I have to be an embodiment of happiness. That is the only way I can say that I'll be permanently happy. The moment I am seeking happiness, yeah,
Then there is no happiness.
there
in
is no
us.
happiness. Right? If you are very hungry and you are served one laddu, what happens? You are happy. Yeah. You say one more, maybe you got the capacity and the taste for it. Say, okay, fine, one more. Very happy. And the guests start telling, one more, please. With great difficulty, you don't want to refuse. You eat that, and the guest says, one more, verily, for my sake. What happens to that happiness?
The amount of happiness reduces slowly.
The same laddu which gave you happiness in the beginning, slowly it has started neutralizing that happiness and it has come to a point of,
Saturation.
not just end, it has come to a point of pain. So what happened? So initially, where did the happiness, first happiness come from? Did the happiness come from the laddu?
It's a need which is being satisfied initially.
So where did that happiness come from?
Inside.
Was there 2 kilos of happiness in the laddu which is going into me? Where did that happiness come from?
Only the mind.
It is from within me.
Inside.
It is from within me. Only thing is that I am wrongly attaching the happiness
To laddu.
to the laddu. Right? I went to Switzerland, I became happy. You ask people who are staying there, they want. You see that thousands of tourists coming here, you don't even want to go to that place more than once. It is giving them happiness, but the same thing is causing a problem for me. So the happiness or unhappiness is not in that particular experience. It is not in that material. It is not in that person. Right? It is my own attachment of the happiness to that particular thing. I am wrongly attaching the happiness to the material, to the people, to the experience. So the first point of detachment, the bandhakatvam, which we have to get rid of, the bondage, is to this particular understanding that the happiness which I am seeking outside is not really outside. Yes, it is not to say that yes, these materials are not required or that we don't have, we should not enjoy them. No, please do that. We should continue to do that. Whatever legitimately we are supposed to do, we should do that. But the issue is with respect to getting attached, first of all, with respect to telling that this is going to make me happy. That statement has to change. That statement has to change. Yeah? Then I remember a story of a person who was a caretaker of a bungalow. Right? So there was this millionaire who was staying abroad in many bungalows, summer house, winter house, etc. So once in 6 months or once in a year, he used to go and stay in that bungalow. And therefore he had a caretaker. His family was also staying there in the outhouse. His children, everything was taken care of by this master. Khana, pina, kharcha, everything is taken care of, vehicle, everything is there. When this master comes once in a year or some of his guests come, he just sends a message, take care of him. Caretaker was khush, his children were studying in good schools, everything is taken care of. So this master was, getting old. And so in one of his trip, when he was going back to the airport, he told the caretaker, that, see, I am getting old. You have been so faithful to me the last 40 years you have been with me, right? And therefore, I don't know whether next year I will be able to come or not, whether I will be alive or not, I don't know. So, I think that I'm just thinking that I'll gift this bungalow to you. You know? He just made a statement before going to getting off the car and going for the flight. Right? 40 years this caretaker, he was living happily. He was enjoying the bungalow. He had an outhouse, but he was enjoying the bungalow. Right? He was taking care of it. Now what would be his state of mind after this master has made this announcement?
How to maintain this?
So the moment this statement was made, the master went off on the flight. He was driving back to the house. His mind started racing. Oh, this bungalow.
This is
My
mine
God.
one day.
Is worth, $3 million, $4 million. Wow, I'll be a rich person.
And this is going to be mine one day.
Right? No, this master told that he's going to do it immediately, sort of. He just thought, I'm thinking of doing this. And as he was driving back, he was approaching the bungalow. He stopped the car. Before even getting into the gate, he stopped the car, got down from the car, and he started looking at the bungalow. 40 years he has seen that bungalow. But that day, he started looking. Wow, this is going to be my bungalow. I'll have to employ people. Now I will not. Maintenance. I'll have to employ people. My relatives, I can show off now. Maybe part of it, land I will sell off and make some money, etc. Yeah, who all will stay there? All this started going.
Planning is coming now.
Then suddenly his eyes shifted to the bungalow which was next to it. And he started saying, oh, that is a bigger bungalow. This looks old now. Maybe I'll have to spend more money. It would have been good if the master was owning that bungalow. He has not even got this in his hand, but already he has started comparing it. So already there's a sort of dejection. The master could have, you should have bought this bungalow a long time back. Right? Started thinking, he said, how will I break this news to my wife, the children, everybody will be happy. He went and told them, they were all with joy, etc. They started making their own goals. What will I buy, what I need, etc. What all things will I throw. And they already started throwing away old things, etc. Thinking that, they will buy new things. And then after 2 days, the master calls her. He said, I came back here, I discussed with my 2 sons. Yeah. Earlier they were telling they are not interested. But one of them advised that, we should keep the bungalow.
Dream is gone, huh?
All the plans are gone.
What happens to now this person's mind?
It shatters.
It shatters. Will he ever be able to come back to the level of his mindset which was there 2 days back, before the first time the master told him about this proposal? He will never be able to. Yeah? He will be angry with his master. He said, no, how can he do that? He will be angry with his children. The entire thing of 40 years is gone, is forgotten at that point of time. Now, material wise, is it different what he was 2 days before?
No.
Is it different? He was always in that position. Right? Happy, contented, taken care of for his life, etc. The master had taken care of the children's education for life, everything was taken care of. And 2 days later, with the same material wealth, what is his state of mind now? What is his state of mind? Where is his happiness gone completely? Just because of the initial attachment of the sense of ownership which is there. With the thing that he is going to own, and therefore an attachment, a bantakatvam comes even before he has owned it. And the moment it is gone, it was never his. It was not his in the first place at all. And he said, no, everything is gone from my hands. It is complete dukkham which sets in. Right? So moksha is nothing but being in that state of mind of being always a caretaker, where everything is provided by Ishvara to us. Everything is given. right? Right from the time we are born, food, protection, security, everything is given. So as long as we are in that mindset, so the entire shastram, entire learning, it's actually a process of unlearning, in terms of our getting rid of our attachments and wrong notions which are there, is leading towards that particular understanding. Yeah. So that is why I say moksham is possible only with jnanam. And we'll see that when we look at karma yoga, upasana yoga and jnana yoga. Because it is a process of understanding. There is nothing to be done here. Because we said the moment I am doing something, it has got a starting point and it has got an ending point. Therefore, it is not permanent. The only thing which is permanent can be achieved through knowledge. And therefore, our shastras, next topic will discuss a bit more about what are we calling as shastras. We looked at it briefly about Upanishads, about Vedas. What exactly is the shastras? What am I supposed to study? So, okay, we should study the shastras. But there is so much there's a problem of overchoice there itself. Yeah, so what should I focus on? What is the minimum required? Right? So the next session we'll look at those particular categories, classification, and so that it will help us in terms of our goals as to what we should focus on. Okay, any questions or thoughts there? What's up? Any thoughts? Share.
Is karma also there, this calm and sakam?
Yes, we'll see that. We'll see all those karma. We'll analyze in much more.
There is a separate chapter for
Yeah. Then law of karma. It's very, very deep discussion which is required there. So it doesn't mean that you have to go back today and cancel all the goals which you wrote on 1st of January. But it is again, as I mentioned in most of the classes, we have to always take back and see what is in this for me. What have I this 1.5 hours we have done in this discussion today. What is in it for me? How can what is the learning point today? What am I supposed to do? So it's good to at least review those goals, right? And see where do they fall. First of all, we can categorize them. Is it pertaining to artha? Is it pertaining to kama? Is it pertaining to dharma? Or moksha? Now I have to add a 4th column. Till yesterday I had only 3 columns. Now I have to add a 4th column. Now you may say that many people say, no, I am perfectly fine. I don't need a moksha as a goal. Why should I need that? Right? So, but subconsciously, they are already in that path of moksha. Everybody ultimately goes towards the path of moksha, every human being, and this is a privilege which is given only to the human being. That is why I say Jantunam Narajanma Durlabham. Yeah? In terms of telling that Narajanma is Durlabham. It has been done after we have got it after so many janmas which is there. We don't know. And therefore, it is my responsibility to utilize that in a proper manner in order to get away from this cycle of dependency, of bandhagatvam, of attachment. And therefore, knowledge is required for that. That is possible only as a human being. And therefore, I utilize it in the proper manner. That is what is implied there. So review of goals. We keep doing it, but it is good. So if we can cancel some of those in terms of telling, yes, I don't need this anymore. I thought this is what was giving me happiness. Fine. Get rid of that. But always, the human mind is said that it always looks for a replacement. Yeah. It always looks for a replacement. So what can I replace it with? Something positive. So that is where all our karmas come in, our rituals come in, celebration of festivals come in, all because of this particular aspect to keep us busy in a positive framework, in the path of dharma. Okay. We will stop here. Anything? Any questions? Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om